Do, 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 do. All right. So there's probably a slight delay, but I'm probably live right now. So I'm just going to click on it. Yeah. And there I am. All right. Good evening, everybody, for another week's edition of Into the Week, where we will all be going to work tomorrow, or at least most of us, unless you're on vacation or unfortunately unemployed or whatever it might be. But this is my chat to kind of have a conversation with all of you about certain things that I want to talk about that are, also a part of my living here in New York, but also listening to you guys as well and answering as many questions as I possibly can. So hopefully you are all doing very well. Right now, we only have 13 people. I don't suspect we're going to get a lot due to the fact that today is NFL Sunday, and we all know that everybody just loves to watch football. Not me, but that's okay. No problem. So whoever's here is here, and whoever's not is not. So I will do a very quick roll call. So apparently we had somebody named Atlanta Light. So hopefully they've come back here. And, I do these, hopefully we'll be doing these every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just keep that in mind. That is the time frame that I will be doing these. So we've got Kelvin. Art Imla is here. Michelangelo is here. Mr. Stiper 22, I hope. Pistol Pete, what's up? Nick Rodriguez, and so that's all we got right now. So 26. Wow, that's a big jump. Jeez. Let's see. Finna's here. Lee is here. Dexter, hello, sir. How are you? Young Gun 1735 W is here as well. Holy cow, this thing is moving a mile a minute. So instead of going through everybody else, guys, hello, how are you? I'm glad you all were able to join me. Anthony Lamastro, Big Al, Paul H. SRB F94 Ellis, G-Man W. I'm not Will Rogers is back. Hello, sir. Screaming Skull Saloon. I think I got everybody. Holy cow. And I think I got Lee. But if not, there you go. And of course, Music Lover is here to brag about her CZ collection, right? No. All right. So let's kind of get into the scenario of what I wanted to talk about. So obviously I put a picture on there today, and it was of this guy right here. Hopefully that doesn't blind you. But that is the Holosun 508T. And apparently this is an upgraded model to the 507, the everybody has one model. And I kind of wanted to get back into red dots. I've been watching videos, obviously, Big Johnson and the Humble Marksman, and kind of going through back and forth. Should I, reinvest some time in it? So I decided to say, what the hell? So I did not get the Masada just yet. That is still missing in action. Thank you, New York State. But I decided to pick this up because I kept going back and forth between this and an RMR. However, I did like the options on this one a little bit better, so I went with this. Now, hopefully it was not a mistake to do that. I did ask some advice from some people that I trust. For example, Mr. Chaotic Canine or Chaos Canine, my buddy JB. I always ask him for advice on certain things because I consider him an expert at certain things that I'm not. One of them being red dots. So this one's kind of cool. I haven't done anything with it yet because I don't have anything for it right now. But as you can see right there, maybe there. Okay. That is the titanium version of basically the old one, the 507. So it has a lot of similar features. Obviously, a little strip on there for, the sun and all that other great stuff. And, I turned it on. It's nice and bright. It looks pretty cool. It has 3 different options for what you would want dot-wise. If you want just a dot or a halo ring or whatever they call that, I don't even know. And so I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of hoping, Razor JB, that's the guy I'm mentioning. So, again, check it out. I did not get this for free, nor did I get it discounted. I paid for it. And I'm okay with that. I want to see how this runs. So this will be going on to the Masada once it comes in, and then we'll see how I like it because I'm kind of interested. I mean, I've had some slight experience with that. Only in this case, the one I had initially, which I still have here, is my Vortex Venom, which is a fairly decent dot. I think it's a good starter. But again, when you get a titanium one, it says, right, let's see what it says here. It says 2 MOA dot and 32 MOA circle. It has a dot, a circle, and a circle dot reticle option, which is kind of cool. 50,000 hours of battery life, solar panel. Wow. Memory function and motion sensor. And the entire body is made out of titanium. And it's got a bottom battery compartment, which is kind of the downside of it, if you have to switch the battery out, but that is what it is. It is waterproof, and it is supposedly parallax free. So fortunately, there's also a warning on it that says cancer and reproductive harm. So great. But other than that, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good red dot. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. So that's kind of cool. I know that some people probably have the 507s and probably like those quite a bit. So this is going to be kind of an interesting little thing for me to do. I'm going to start practicing a lot and seeing if I'm going to switch over, do the big switcheroo. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. All right. And then the other thing I was deciding was I went to my local gun shop and there was a company that was over there. It was called Darkstorm Industries. Now, honestly, I've never heard of this company before, but apparently they make, when I was speaking to the two reps that were there, maybe one of them was the owner. I don't really know, guys, to be honest with you. But when I was speaking to them, they were telling me that they are one of the very, I guess maybe the only 50 state compliant AR rifle company, which is kind of interesting, especially when you live in New York. And even more interesting was the fact that these guys are based out of Long Island, which is even more interesting because, again, if I owned a gun company, I probably wouldn't be in New York because let's be honest, New York is not the most friendly gun state in the world. But they have stuck by New York, which is kind of nice. So, again, for us living behind enemy lines, look, we can't leave. We can't go anywhere at this point. And that argument's kind of stupid. I'll be honest with you. But at the same time, one of the things that I've always hesitated about ARs is the fact that they never look the way they should. I want the AR to be the way it was meant to be. Again, there are some options we can do here. We can reshape them and get rid of all the quote unquote evil features. And then at the same time, you can have a detachable mag, or you can reverse that and pin the mag to 10 rounds, of course. And then you can keep all of the quote unquote evil features you want. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting. And in this case, they actually made one where the lower incorporates the magazine housing. So you don't have to pin anything. There doesn't have to be a bullet button or anything like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. So you get to keep the pistol grip. You can have the collapsible stock. You can have a muzzle device. So I mean, those things to me keep the essence of that rifle the way it is, which led me to really take a pretty big interest in what they were making over there. Unfortunately, when I looked at the budget that I have right now, I couldn't do anything at this particular moment. However, they do make lowers that have the magazine that's again encased in that lower. So I may actually go that route. Maybe start my own build, but we'll see how that plays out. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. I did also ask them because I was getting some questions about how do you actually load it if the magazine is fixed, if there is no magazine that can be released. So I did reach out to them because I did have that question. They did mention something to me before, and I wanted to tell you guys if I can find it. That'd be great. So apparently they have these almost look like magazines, but they act like almost stripper clips. So basically, they're made from a company called Bear Flag Defense, and they basically go up on the top of where the dust cover is, and you basically just pull down on this lever, and it just puts all the rounds inside of the chamber or inside of the the lower. So it's super quick, which is kind of interesting. And you can actually carry them like on a mag pouch or something like that because they basically act the same way. Now, again, there are some advantages and disadvantages, obviously, but I think the advantage is definitely going to be for those of us living in states like this, like New York, California, Massachusetts, or wherever you might be. But they do make rifles specifically for the state in which you live. So if the rules are different from New York to California, they'll make rifles for California that maybe don't pertain to New York, and then vice versa. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it is kind of nice that we have those options. I was not aware of that. I wasn't even aware of the company until I stepped foot into the store, and I was glad I did. So I would like to try to get in there and maybe convince them, brainwash them, coerce them into sending me one to review, and then I swear I'll send it back. But it would be interesting to actually have an opportunity to do that. So check them out. It's Darkstorm Industries, which is pretty cool. All right. So that's enough of that. All right. So let's see. I'm going to go through some of these things right here. Razor JB said battery change once a year and makes you do some maintenance and examine beneath your dot and slide for rust, proper sealing, and just get in there. That's a good point. Very good point, sir. See, that's why I consider him the expert. Let's see. What's the cost of the new Holosun? I have a 507C. I paid, I think I paid slightly under $400 for it. Oh my God. Can't believe I said that. But when I compared it to the RMR Type 2s, I felt like this had maybe the slight edge on that. But again, I could be wrong. My experience is very limited, so time will tell. Let's see. Screaming Skull Saloon, lost power at 6 p.m. my time. All right. Ferrets with Guns is here. Let's see. Let's see. There you go. Build the mother effer. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm not really familiar with the whole thing, so it's going to take some time and some money, but we're going to try it. I mean, I might as well. What the hell? Got nothing to lose. All right, let's see. Am I going to do a custom style build? I actually reached out to Ranger Point Precision for that to get those lightning cuts. Right now, currently, I no longer have the L. I only have my M, which was my preference of choice between the two. Unfortunately, they can't do the M, which is kind of a bummer. I prefer the M. That's why the L is no longer with me. And I don't feel bad about it. I didn't need two of them, but to me, the M is a little bit better. All right, let's see. Paul H is saying he came from a gun show in Mesquite, Texas, Dallas today. Saw a couple of P10s and a Beretta 92X pistols. Took a whole lot of self-control not to buy both or even one. Just think my ported M&Ps are unmatched. Yeah, I mean, it's like right now, it's all about, what's going to be your taste. There's a lot of guns out there right now that are saying, buy me, buy me, buy me. And sometimes you got to take that step back and take a breath, because if not, you're going to just bury yourself. And I don't want to bury myself in any debt. So I've got to take it slow. And it was tough, man. Let me tell you, it was really tough. I had this rifle in my hands and I'm sitting here saying, man, oh man, oh man. The guys who were selling were not helping, obviously. And I had to step away. I actually stepped away and then came back and then stepped away again and took a deep breath and walked away from it. But we'll see. We'll see how the future plays out. You never know. Let's see. Yep, and that is true. So the Holosun is about $100 less. And again, it depends. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 507. I could have gone that route, but again, like I said, I chose to go with something built a little bit beefier. But that's the way I wanted to go with it. And again, there's no, I look at it from the standpoint of you can't go wrong with either at this point. But again, my knowledge on these is very limited. But we're going to see what happens. 7 MOA. I think that might be a little too big though for a pistole, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. So again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And, this weekend I took out the old P01 for carry. I was going somewhere with the fam. So I said, you know what? I haven't really carried my P01. And a lot of people might say, why don't you carry that gun? To be honest with you guys, it's kind of like one of my safe queens. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but I love that damn gun so much. And I have carried that gun quite a bit. But I just felt like it's time to put it away for a while and let it breathe, let it take a break. And I don't want to destroy it. Plus, I have another P01 and this guy right here, which will probably become more of the carry gun than the P01, only because the PCR is a little bit, I guess not a little bit, but it's just different. Doesn't have the rail in the front, and it's just like a smooth looking gun. It's something classic about the PCR. So once I get a holster for that, I'll probably start carrying that as well, more so than P01. And then of course I ask people to, kind of think about, would they carry the 225A1? Or would they carry the P01? And of course, a lot of people are saying CZ. And I went with the CZ and I was glad I did. It is just a great gun. I mean, I don't think you could ever go wrong with a P01. If you've not experienced the joy of ownership on one of those guns, I would highly, highly recommend it. They're not overly expensive, but they're not overly cheap. I mean, you can obviously go with a P07, which is a lot cheaper, but there's just something timeless about that P01. And I think it adds even that idea to the PCR here, which is just awesome. It's just a great gun, guys. And I highly recommend them. All right, let's see. A lot of people saying PCR is a sweet carry gun. PCR is a great carry gun. I agree. Let's see. If you're mount on an MOS Glock, you will need to file the Holosun optic set screws down a hair. Interesting. I did not know that. Fortunately, I'm not going to be using an MOS Glock. I'm going to be using the Masada for this thing. And then depending on how I get, if I actually get comfortable, using that red dot, I've got the APX RDO coming in, so there might be a little switcheroo to that. Or, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll be able to hook myself up with something else. But like I said, we'll see. Uriel is saying PCR rocks. Let's see. The green P01. Damn you, sir. Damn you. That's the one I've been looking for a long time. That will be the last metal bodied CZ I will ever buy, is that green P01 if I can find one. What do I recommend for springs? There is the spring kit that you can find on Cajun Gunworks. And again, it's up to you if you want to be a gun snob and pay like $800 to get a souped up, P01. That's great. You can do that. However, I chose to go the cheap route at $17 for the spring kit. Comes with a plunger spring, a striker spring, and the hammer spring. and you're going to wind up getting about an 8-pound pull and a 4-pound, or 8-pound double and then a 4-pound single action. And I think that's all it needs. It's actually very good, a lot smoother take up. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do much for the reset, and that's okay. But at the same time, why spend hundreds of dollars when you can spend 20 or 17 plus the shipping and handling, which comes out to like $25, which in my opinion is a little bit high to ship a bunch of springs. Let's face it, that doesn't probably add a lot of weight. All right, let's see. Interesting. If you're going to spend 92 Elite LTT or M9A3, is the Langdon worth it with all the options? I don't know. It's a good question. I've never had one of those. I've heard some negatives and positives about, the Elites and the Langdons, and I mean, the M9A3 is a great gun. It adds a bunch of features: the threaded barrel, the standard sights. Honestly, I think the M9A3 for me is a perfect gun, just because of the way it shoots. But I don't have any experience with the others, so it's hard to say. Lee, you get the 92X Centurion decocker model. Those are pretty cool. So you're basically looking at almost a full-length slide with a full-length grip. So I think it's off by like point something. I'm not sure. It's maybe, I think, I don't think it's half an inch shorter. I think it's slightly longer than that. So I'm not sure. But the Centurion is pretty cool. The compact looks pretty cool too. And of course, Scott is rubbing it in that he's got the green P012. Thanks for rubbing that in, making me feel bad. Let's see. Ray is saying he just bought a 225 to go with his 226. It's a special edition, about 8 months old. Bought it used for next to nothing. Was looking to get a 229, but could not pass it up. Yeah, I got mine used, and I got a sweet deal on it. And the 225 is a great gun. Fantastic handgun. Love it. Love it. Let's see. Scott's also got the CZ75 Compact, which is the steel frame P01. That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right. So is changing the hammer spring on a SP01 going to affect the single action that much? It does. I can tell you right now, I have both P01s with both the hammer springs in there that come in that spring kit. And it went from about, a little over 10, almost 11-pound double action, and about a 5.5 to 6-pound single action, and it dropped it that much. So yeah, it does do that. Same thing even with this thing. I changed the hammer spring out of here, and now this trigger is sweet. Every time I shoot, I'm like, sweet baby Jesus, that trigger is good. And so yes, a hammer spring can do that. Let's see. I'm not spray painting it. That's out. Not going to happen. Yeah, I can't find them. I wish I could find them. And then, I have the P01 Omega, which is the urban gray / kind of brownish looking or tan looking one. And then I've got the original black one, and then the PCR. So the only one that's missing right now is going to be that green. And usually when you find them, some guy's trying to sell his for like there was a guy in Gunbroker who was actually trying to sell it for something like $3,000 because it was so rare. And I was like, no, it's not that. I mean, it's rare, but I ain't paying $3,000 for that. You're crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. I'm going to go back and see if I missed anything with any of you ladies and gentlemen. So it's a true steel frame P01. Very cool. He loves it, Razor. It is his, it's a part of who he is. It's kind of like, your hair. I don't have any, so I can't use mine, but it's kind of like your hair. It's a part of you. So he has identified himself as a lacrosse player, which is not a bad thing. And so he loves it. He loves it a lot. What are your thoughts on steel guide rod and extended firing pin? The extended firing pin, I've heard that is necessary sometimes because the firing pin will break. I have not seen that. I don't have any issues with any of them. Would I recommend it? Sure. It's not going to hurt. And it's not super expensive to get one. So I would do it. Why not? Steel guide rod I have in the, which one do I have? I think the other one I have upstairs in my safe. But the P01 has, I think it has a steel one. And then the Omega, I think, also has a steel one. Or it might have a DPM. I can't remember. And do I think it's worth it? I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, you're not going to necessarily notice major improvements, but I think it can help. Some people have said that it doesn't, that actually damages your P01. But again, I have not seen that for myself. So you do what you want to do. I got the green. Yeah, I was looking at the M11s. Those are sweet too. I like those a lot. I was looking at the green one, the Army green one. That's pretty dope. And then, of course, they have the FDE one. So, I mean, there's so many cool ones that I really like that M11. That might be on the list one day. We'll see. It's a sport. Let's see. They have green 10Fs. They do. Yes, they do have that. They also have FDE. What are we in for this week when politicians are back? It's not looking good. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think we can ever figure out what they're up to. I think right now it's going to be a lot of the same, divide, divide, divide. But, we'll see what happens with Monday. That's why this is called Into the Week. And that is true. It does come with the NSN number. So I definitely want to get one of those. That would be it for me, though. I go back and forth with the P10 sometimes, but I still just can't get myself to buy one. If I could find one for like $150, I would, but I can't. So I'm just going to stick with what I got. I really like the metal CZs, especially the compact ones. I've got the Phantom coming as well again. And that'll probably be it in regards to CZ for me, unless something else comes out that it's a must have for me, but right now I'm pretty good. That is true. They moan a lot. They tell us what we should do, and then they don't do it themselves. Is the APX RDO new to the market? Red Dot Ready. So they do have the full size. They initially came out with a full size APX RDO, and now they've released the Centurion RDO. So it's basically the Glock 19 size APX, which is pretty awesome. I'm actually trading my regular APX for it and have to pay a little bit for it, but it is what it is. And I think it's going to be worth it. I love the APX. The APX has become my go-to striker fired polymer handgun. It just fits all of the marks for me. It doesn't mean it would for you, but it definitely, I think, won a place in my absolutely must-have guns, more so than a Glock or even the infamous P10, to be honest with you. Let's see. Pistol Pete, do I have the Shadow Compact? He's asking Scott that. So Scott, answer him, damn it. He did. Let's see. Music saying, I saw a bit of that. And no, I would never recommend that at this point. I know they did receive the gun on Friday, I think. I think they got it Friday. So now it's just a waiting game to see. I'm a little cautious about it because apparently they're moving everything out of New Hampshire and going full bore out to Idaho. And so hopefully within that move, there won't be a loss of service. But, again, it's too early to tell. I don't know how that's going to play out, but it most certainly is going to suck. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll be honest with you. That gun cannot come back and have a single failure. And, I know people will say, yeah, but guns are going to fail and so on and so forth. And I get it. And you're absolutely right. They're going to fail. They are, machines, so to speak. They have movable parts. Things break. I get it. But that particular handgun cannot come back and fail. If there are any failures with that gun, it is going back to them and I am getting my money back. And that's it. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to tell them, oh, okay, I'll give you another chance. Basically right now, they have one chance to get this right. And, I'm not trying to be difficult with them. And I explained that to them on the phone when I spoke to them. But I also did say this was my own money. And honestly, I could not feel comfortable ever carrying something that had that kind of failure. And if it comes back and it's still failing, then it's going to be gone for good. I'm not going to even sell it to the locals or whatever. It's going back to them. And they better honor the commitment of giving me my money back. That's for sure. All right, let's see. No problem, Ty. Let's see. I'm just going down this here really quick. Red, White, and Pew. Would you have the P01 cut for an RMR with slim slide? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I'm sure anything's possible. I mean, I've been seeing pictures of, shadows being, milled and all this other stuff. I'm pretty sure you could do it. I just don't know how. I don't have the technical savvy to tell you yes or no to that. But if it could be done, that'd be pretty sweet. Let's see, Dan, you are absolutely correct. It should be right the first time. But you know what? If I was not going to give it a chance to come back and be fixed, I don't feel like I'd be doing it justice. And I know some people say, well, that's just stupid or crazy or whatever. But, I'll be honest with you. I'm not getting anything back for any of these reviews. I get nothing. And I want to make sure that if there is an issue, that it's not just an isolated problem. because, I want to keep my own credibility in this, and a lot of times what's going to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have some big wig on YouTube who comes out and makes their own, and all of a sudden it's the best gun on the market. But I'm still going to stand by my words. The gun was a miserable failure. You guys saw the video. If you didn't, you should check it out. The gun was just a piece of shit. I'll be honest with you. And it pains me to say it because I had a lot of faith in that gun, but, sometimes it doesn't work out. That's the way it is. Put a used SIG P320X compact in the layaway today. KS would be happy. They had it used at my local for $550. Very cool. Good for you. Congrats. All right, let's see. Anthony's saying he has a 225A1 Classic. What spring kit did you get to improve the trigger? I got a Wolf springs. It comes in like a bag of multiple springs. So you get like 17, 19, 18, 16, and something else. But I wound up putting a 17-pound hammer in this thing, and it did. It made it very smooth, and it is empty. So I'll decock it, and I will tell you exactly what it's pulling out. I don't know if I ever did a follow-up with this gun, to be honest with you. I can't remember. All right, so the double action is pulling at 8 pounds, 0.5 ounces, which to me, that's a good solid double action. And my single action, whoop, I got to clear it out. Whoopsie. 4 pounds, 3.5 ounces. So just with a hammer spring, you're getting 8 and 4. You can't beat that. That's why I say, sometimes go cheap. You don't have to go big price wise to get a shootable gun. So I definitely would recommend that. Hopefully that helps you. Holy cow, this is going super fast. Oh my God. All right, so J Mike is saying he just discovered the Centurion RDO today, but I might wait for the price to come down. I found one from $591, but I'm thinking it will come down in price. I think it'll be some time because it was a quiet release. They didn't even announce it. I mean, you had to find it and search for it, and then I read an article and they said, yeah, it's out. So it's really weird why they did that. I don't understand that. The APX is a great gun. And they should have been promoting that, especially now that we're getting a lot of people getting into optics. That's silly. So once again, Beretta dropped the ball on that, but maybe they were also concentrating on the 92X releases, but who knows? And even with that, I mean, there wasn't a lot of fanfare with those guns. Ask most people, hey, what do you think of that 92X Centurion or the compact or the full size? And some people probably tell you they have no idea they even exist. I don't know why Beretta does not try to do more in regards to their marketing, but you know how that is. Every company's different. Yes, sir. Like I said, this for an 8-pound double action trigger, I don't think you can beat it. It's a very smooth take up. Even shaky hands like mine can handle that, but it's a very smooth right about there, camera. And then it breaks. And then this comes with the SRT trigger. So boop, right there. It's just sick. Great gun. I love it. Let's see. That is true. I did read up on it. I also took it to the range with that particular spring and it had no issues, performed like a champ. So that is absolutely true. Ty J saying Beretta does not do a good job marketing the US. Yep, that is very true as well, apparently. I believe you're talking about I don't know, maybe the Centurion, 92X Centurion, the full size. They are almost the same size. It's very, very close. Which is kind of interesting. I don't know why they would have done that. It would have been interesting to just make a 4-inch barrel with a full grip, kind of like a 19X type of thing, but whatever. I covered a little bit. Obviously, I was talking about Darkstorm Industries. If you guys just walked in, it's something that I'm interested in. I wanted to get something. If I was ever going to get an AR, I wanted to get something that actually kind of resembled an AR without all the stupid features that you have to do in order to make it Safe Act compliant. And so when I was talking to these guys, what they do is they created an AR lower that actually incorporates the magazine inside of it. So you don't need to put a bullet button or any kind of pin or weld job or anything like that. And what's even cooler about it, which I didn't mention before, was that if you choose to move to a different state and you still own the rifle, once you leave your state, you can send the lower back to them and they'll actually get you a brand new lower at no charge with a detachable magazine. How cool is that? And then on top of that, they also make, free state ARs, and they had some nice stuff there, man. And again, I'm not the big AR guru or anything like that, but it was pretty sweet. It was absolutely pretty sweet. And I would recommend it. And I would recommend all of you going over to their Instagram page and hitting them up saying, hey, man, send 1776 or bust one of your compliant rifles for a review. So that's how I'm marketing myself. I'm having all of you guys do it. I would love it. I sort of kind of hinted to it, but I don't think they were biting on it. So I'm not surprised. All right, let's see. Let's see. The P210 felt like porridge, just right. That's not the 45, is it? Or is that the 220? I think the 220 is a 45. I mean, I've gotten so heavy into metal SIGs that I'm starting to love them quite a bit. And then I look at the price and I'm like, I don't love them that much anymore. Let's see. What does it do that makes you want to get the neutered AR? Well, it's not really not necessarily a neutered AR, because you still get to keep the features that make it an AR, with the exception of a detachable magazine. So for me, I think that's a win because, let's be honest, the ergonomics alone of an AR make them really fun to shoot. Being able to keep those ergonomics the way they are, with the exception of the magazine, to me, in my opinion, it's worth it. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it, and it doesn't not get me not angry, because it does. But at the same time, I'd rather shoot something that is meant to look like and feel like an AR ergonomically than having a sport or stock on it. I mean, to me, you look at Fight Light makes nice things, but once you get rid of that stock, it's no longer compliant. And I would rather go with something like that. But again, everybody's going to have their own opinion as to what that is. Do I carry a handheld light? I actually have one on my keychain. I've got a really, really tiny O-light that is pretty bright. So I carry that with me all the time. It's good enough. Let's see, P01 versus P07. Well, to me, that's a no-brainer. I do not own a P07. I have owned P07s, but I absolutely would go with the alloy frame over polymer any day of the week in regards to that. P07 is a great gun. Don't get me wrong. People love them. They're cheap, they're affordable, and they're very reliable. But the P01, man, is just the top, in my opinion. I've said it before on the channel that I think the P01 is the best CZ that they've ever made. Some people get mad and say it's a Shadow 2, but the Shadow 2 is a competition gun. P01 is an everyday, every use for everything gun, and that's what I rather have. All right, let's see. Yeah. And again, it's, you buy their product, and if you move out of the state, then they hook you up. And I think that's awesome. It's a lifetime warranty on it, and it's transferable. So, I mean, there's a lot of cool things with this company. And they're based out of New York. So it's not like they don't have a dog in this race, so to speak. They could be an out of state company that, pushes their compliant rifles, but they don't really, they're not really invested into the state where they're pushing those things. Where in these guys are based out of Long Island. They're like 2 hours away from me. To me, they've invested their company's time here, and I think that's pretty cool. All right, so Art, go over to Darkstorm Industries, hit them up, and tell them to send me one. Send me a rifle and a top loader so I can show everybody how it works. Yep. Metal SIGs are a little spendy. They definitely are, but I tell you, it's very addictive, very addictive. But you just got to find the right price, and that's the key to everything, right? If you build it, you will like it better. Plus, you can buy it in pieces and get parts on sale. And that is true. And that's why I was looking at it, because the lower they have, I think, is $160, which might be pricey. Again, I don't know. I don't have a lot of knowledge on this stuff. But at the same time, to start off with that at first and then slowly and gradually build one would be pretty cool, which is probably the route I'm going to go. Art's saying, so as long as you have multiple strip loaders, they're not. They're actually in the shape of a magazine, and then you pop them on the top of like where the dust cover is, pop them right into there, and then zip, throw them in, take the thing, put it back in your pouch, and you're good to go. So when I was speaking to them, they were saying it's about the same amount of time it would take for you to drop a mag and reload another magazine, which is kind of interesting. Again, I don't know if that's true, but it would be pretty sweet to find out. C. Kim does not comply. So we will send you our love from prison. Let's see. I don't, is it? I don't know. There's 3 people right now. So Art's there. Again, there's a couple others who went over there to help out. And again, I'm not gonna sit here and I don't think, talk about it all the time. Honestly, I don't even know what I still feel about it, but you brought it up, so I will bring it up. I moved over to the thing called Subscribe Star, $3 a month. and I will send out newsletters and some other crap at some point when I figure it all out. But that's what I'm doing right now to kind of help the channel grow a little bit. And there's no tier membership or anything like that. It's $3, and everybody gets the same stuff. And hopefully that'll happen. I don't know. Like I said, it's 3 people, and that's helpful, man. After everything is pulled out of it, it's about $7 and change. But look, that's cool. $7. It's almost a box of ammo. So that's just what I'm doing with that. All right, let's see. You can get a pistol version, but you cannot do anything with a pinned magazine. That's the problem. We were actually talking about that yesterday when I was talking to these guys, because they have a pistol carbine, but you lose all the features. So you have the weird shaped grip. You have like the buffer tube that comes out of the back. So it looks really stupid. It doesn't feel that ergonomic, but you do have a detachable magazine. And in their case, they were using Glock mags, which of course makes the most sense. That is true. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy price. All right, let me see what I can do here. Just love all my double action, single action SIGs. Yeah, they're pretty good. Can't complain. All right, let's see. CZ, double action, single action versus Glock Striker. Oh boy, that's a tough question for all of you to answer. I prefer CZ, but I'm sure everybody's going to have their own. Got to run, but I'll catch a replay of the chat. No problem, man. Keep it up. I appreciate it, Art. Thank you for your support, sir. And I hope you have a wonderful night. And stay free over there in California. So we got the CZs or hipster guns. I do not consider myself a hipster at all. But I also don't go overboard. Obviously there's some people have 40,000 CZs. I don't have that. I have God, how many do I have? I have 3. I have 3 CZs right now. I got my P01s and my PCR. And that's all I need, except for the green P01, which is what I'm looking for. And the Phantom is coming. Send a link. I don't know what that's about. Is that about the subscribe star? I don't know how to do that on here. All you have to do is go to subscribe star and put in 1776 or bust. And there it is. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one with that name. I'm not exactly the most computer savvy person. Let's put it that way. Razor, thank you, sir. Like I said, but in the past, your friendship is worth more than what you send. You don't have to, sir. Let's see. I would say that polymer CZs are hipster, but the metal ones are OG. That's a good point, Art. Good for you. I agree with that. And people would argue that, you have to kind of evolve with time. And obviously the market was dictating a lot of striker fired polymer handguns. So CZ was kind of behind the times. They had I think it was a CZ 100 or something like that, which was their real entry into the polymer gun market. But apparently it wasn't that good of a gun. And that was years ago. I think it was like from the 80s or something like that, maybe early 90s. So, they came out with the P10 to a lot of fanfare, obviously. And it's just grown from there. But I prefer the originals. I do. All right, that's right. The 220s and 10 mil. Is it 10 mil? I saw one, I think, on Gunbroker. So let's see. Screaming Skull is saying I plan on getting a CZP-10S this next spring to replace my spring summer carry gun, which is a Walther PPS M2. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what you think about that gun. That's the only one right now that I have any interest in, because I've had the P10C, and the P10F really isn't worth it for me to get because the damn grip is 3 miles long for like the 450 rounds you can put in it. And unfortunately, I'd be neutered to 10. It's not worth it to me. C4 likes the 9 versus the 10. Yeah, I would be interested to see what you guys think about those. I like I said, I've had some interest, but it's kind of on the back burner. And like I said, you can get a P10S, you can go with the APX. I think those are great choices. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I'm going to see if I can, let's see. Let me hide that. I don't want to open up too many windows here because I'll probably screw something up and then I'll go from good to bad really fast. I'm just typing in something. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really know how to get in there. So it says here, let's see, Let's see, M&P 2.0C, great gun, love it. They really need to come up with an optics version of it, which apparently is in the plan. Harry Holster, P10S is too big for what it is. If the Glock 19 is too large for your hands, it's likely great, but I doubt that's an issue. Yeah, I mean, the 19's fine. I think the ergos of a P10 are better, obviously, but we'll see. Hail to the Rooster saying, but if I get a P07 cut for an optic, I'd take that over a P10 option any day. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people love those P10s, man, or the P07s, I should say. They love them. EA does make a nice weapon for the price, but the Rock Island armories are better. The only thing I wish they would do is stop doing with safety only. I wish they would actually put them on with decockers. You know, I don't want a gun with just a safety, but that's me. You know, I would prefer to have it in decock mode. Is there a handgun in my safe that I haven't shown on camera? No. You guys know just about every handgun I have. So there's nothing that you don't know in regards to handguns. Let's see. I thought a subcompact 9mm with an optic would be a great carry option since I first saw pistols with optics. I wonder if it would be worthwhile for you to maybe consider getting a shield with the new red dot that they have. You know, it's a single stack. Obviously, the capacity isn't the same, but I wonder if that would be something you'd consider as well. Jim Gregory, thank you, sir. Again, I do appreciate it. However, I would always tell you guys, you guys just hanging around watching these chats is worth more than what you would, give. And I do appreciate it. It certainly will be used for a good cause. That's for sure. It's funny you say that because I was talking about 10mm today. I'd like to try to mess around with 10mm. I'm not going to lie. I just want to have the experience of shooting one of those. And, I shot 45s and, 9s and 40s and all that other crap, but I've never had the opportunity to actually shoot that. And for me, that would be pretty sweet. Cause from what I hear, man, there's a lot of kick to those 10mm. And honestly, I would like to have that opportunity. But again, we'll see. Like I said, unfortunately for me, everything takes time. And that's the only thing that's a killer for me, which is still amazing when I think about having over 10,000 subscribers. I literally have to wait like a month just to get a new handgun. And somehow I'm able to do it. It's amazing. All right. So this is this probably get me banned from YouTube. All right. So this, I don't know if that's usable or not, guys. I have no idea, but that is the link to Subscribestar if you're interested. And that's the last I'll say about it. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm scrolling through these messages. I may actually carry my P10F this winter. I occasionally carry my P10C. I'm going to carry the M9A3 this winter for a little bit. I want to try that bad boy out. And also I got that Beretta 90-2, which went to a company to do some stippling in Cerakote, and I was speaking to them today. So hopefully they're going to be starting with that this week. And we're kind of talking about different things and how it's going to look. So I'm pretty excited when that comes back because I want to carry that too. Those are beasts of guns, man. They're awesome. Do I have M&Ms in your gun safe? Like the candy? Because I'm not going to lie, I'm more of a Skittle guy. I love Skittles. Yep, that's a great gun. That gun has actually replaced my Glocks. Period. I love the APX. I just think they're great guns. Yeah, 4-inch shield's great, man. Awesome gun. In my opinion, it was a better fit for me and what I like carry wise than the Glock 43X and the 48. 10mm is like a 44. You can load them from mild to wild. Best to shoot mid range, slightly hotter than 45 ACP. Yeah, I just like the fact you're getting, from what I read and understand from the 10, is that you're getting a lot more pressure than a 45 and a lot more speed out of the barrel. So it makes it kind of like the ultimate gun our handgun round, albeit probably has a little bit more recoil. But, from what I've gathered, that would be pretty friggin' sweet. Favorite 1911. I'm not a 1911 guy. I don't know if I should say that. People will start hating. I've shot a couple of 1911s, and they're nice. They're cool. I don't know. I just have never really gotten into 1911s, but everybody likes them. I just, and I'll be honest with you, there is one 1911 and a 10 millimeter that I've been looking at that supposedly comes, I think, with an RMR on it. But if I say the company, you guys are going to want to try to burn my house down. But it's a nice looking 1911. I was reading something earlier. I guess Atlas now has a single stack 1911 coming out, or 2011. But again, those are high priced because they're handmade and stuff. So that'd be pretty sweet. Ty J is saying, yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I have a bear that keeps coming and destroying my garbage cans every night. So I got to get a 10 millimeter just for that. And that's a good question too. If anybody knows, please answer that. I don't think it does, as far as I've read, but I don't know. And then, of course, CKIM is not if you buy a real pistol. That is funny. Yes, it is, but it's pretty nice. Let's see. How is it being a pro-gun Latino in New York? Well, I don't consider myself a Latino, sir. I consider myself a Hispanic. There's a bit of a difference. So I'm not going to get into that, of what the difference is. You guys can read that on your own, but I am not a Latino. I don't have any family in Latin America. I consider myself a Hispanic, but I also consider myself an American first, above and beyond everything else. I don't really think it's an issue. I don't think there's a lot of representation necessarily, especially in the public gun community, or even on the YouTube community. I think a lot of times when you see people, and I hate using this term, people of color, because I'm not really colorful. I got brown eyes, had brown hair, brown skin. I ain't that much color, guys. But one of the things that I have noticed is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of representation in regards to the gun community, which is kind of odd, because we like guns too, and we also follow the laws. Just saying. Let's see. Yep, most are larger frames, and mostly metal sometimes, Ooh, who said it? Yep, you said it. That's the one I was talking about, but I'm not mentioning who makes it. But if you guys know, it is a beautiful looking gun. They've got a 5-inch version and a 6-inch version. The thing looks like a friggin' cannon. That'd be one I'd like to try. Let's see. Nick is saying that he feels better with a double action trigger for home defense. Yeah, I mean, you use what you want. Let's see. Music saying she's a whitino. Let my people go. Yeah, oh yeah, she's my sister. Yeah, she's my evil stepsister, maybe. No, my last name's not Cortez, Ocasio-Cortez, and she's an idiot, by the way. I kind of consider myself a little smarter than her. Now I'm going to get totally banned from YouTube for that. There you go, guys. See? I mean, it doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter if you're Latino, Hispanic, Asian, Black, white, gay, straight. You know what? I look at it from this standpoint. I don't care what you are, who you are, where you're from. If you're pro 2A, if you exhibit your rights in a legal and intelligent way, then in my opinion, welcome aboard. And that's how I look at it. I don't look at your color. I look to see what you're about and how you're going to represent the community. Let's see. I know it makes it zero hate if you spent that money. Yeah, I could never spend that money. That I would throw up if I had to spend that. Whoop, I just totally got skipped on that one. Great comment. Why, thank you, Pistol Pete. V-Borg, what's up, man? It's been forever. I haven't seen you on here for a long time, sir. So let's see. If she was your sister and you could monetize the video of Thanksgiving, you'd make a fortune. Oh my God. Could you imagine what it would be like to have Thanksgiving with AOC, Alexandria, or Ocasio-Cortez? I mean, it would just be like, honestly, it'd be like talking to a pumpkin pie. You'd get as much information out of that pumpkin pie as you would her. I just couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. I'd be throwing like a turkey leg at her or something. But I could imagine that, But then again, I will say this: you probably would never want to have that conversation because she'd have to have her handlers next to her to make sure she didn't say something stupid. Very true. Yep. I have a very smart rock collection outside that would put her to a test. That's for sure. So yeah, no, she's she's a windbag. She's an empty suit, so to speak. But most of them are up here. I mean, this is the way it is. Yeah, no pie. The pie crust is better. Well, then again, she probably doesn't eat meat because they've lectured all of us that if you eat meat, it's going to destroy the environment more. So we now all have to be vegans, apparently. So I'm sure she's not eating any meat or any turkey or anything like that because, she's got to save the environment. Absolutely. Hell, Harry, if she was his sister, he wouldn't think twice about spending the money on a TRP because it would be pocket change. That is true because, I'm sure she's funneling her campaign money into all of the right areas. Just ask her campaign manager and her boyfriend. Ray is saying she's a creation of the Justice Democrats. I don't even know if you can claim it as Democrats. I mean, we've been seeing some Republicans who are jumping the wagon too on a lot of things. Let's see. Are you also Puerto Rican? I am. I am a Boricua. That is true. Latinos assimilate easier, earn more than other minorities, have no right to complain, but also don't deserve to be vilified. I agree. I don't think anybody should be vilified unless they're committing crimes. Period. Let's see. What is this? Big J and I are pushing big techs for POTUS. Well, he can't be because I'm supposed to be the president of the United States. So I'm going to fight that campaign. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. I'm just going through some of these comments, guys. So I apologize if there's a lot of quiet here and you're listening to me via your radio or something. I did that one. I did not see. Do you reload at all? No, I don't. Not because of not wanting to or not wanting to learn. I just don't know if I trust myself to do it, to be honest with you. And honestly, I don't really have the time right now. I've got two fairly young kids still. And a lot of my time when I'm not doing this on a Sunday night or the other chat on Wednesday or some videos, everything else is work and family. So I don't really have time to do it at this point. Maybe when I retire, that'd be something to do just to pass the time. But right now I don't. Right now I just wait for sales. And when there are sales, I hoard, which I did this weekend. Let's see. Ray's saying Republicans and Democrats are one and the same. Illusion of choice. That is a good point. Good point. Let's see. C. Kim is saying, if pistol grips are dangerous, why do all pistols have them? Well, listen, pretty soon we won't even have that right. It's a good point. It's a semi-automatic pistol. So, maybe sooner or later, they're just going to get rid of the pistol grip on here and they'll tell you all you're going to have is a trigger and a spur. So you have to shoot your gun like that. So we'll be relegated to shooting 22s or 380s or something like that. So don't give him any ideas, C. Kim, please. Please. ND is saying he took his my advice and put an Apex trigger on my Glock 19 Gen 4. Yep. Look, I have no problem recommending Apex. I have zero experience with other triggers. I think one time I had another trigger on one of my Glocks. I can't remember who it was made by, but I swear by Apex. I know some people don't like the fact of changing your trigger out on a carry gun, but you know what? I don't have any problem with it. And I love Apex triggers. I just think they are well engineered and they always work. I have yet to get one, and I have them in just about every gun they make them for. I have never had any problems with them. Even the installations have been very smooth once you get them down. My son and daughter both shoot, actually. I took them both to the range this summer. So they are both into shooting, which is the way it should be. That not only is it something that they're learning and it's a skill, more importantly, it's time that you're devoting to them. And that forces that one-on-one attention that most kids today are lacking seriously in. So I highly recommend, if you have children, start them slow, take them to the range, teach them all of the safety protocols and everything else, and just teach them how to shoot. Because what you're going to find is like I said, you're building a skill, but you're also giving that bonding time, which kids need, whether they're, just going into teenage years or not. That is time that you spend with your family, and your kids are learning something. And on the top of that, you're also learning how to be a father or a mother. And unfortunately, I think more and more we're seeing less and less of that, which is why we're seeing a lot of these kids go off the deep end because they don't really have any social connection with anybody. But again, this isn't a social welfare show, so we'll stop there. That was what I had. I had an Overwatch. That was the one I had. It's a pretty good trigger, but I still like the Apex better, or the Apex better. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I want to start this slow, so I got to kind of get some funds together and get moving with that. Screaming Skull saying he's joining the Gun Owners of America. Joining the GOA is great, but getting new folks into shooting is the best thing. And I agree with that. I'm not too big on the formal organizations of the GOA or the NRA for that matter, because honestly, I don't see their presence at all here. And so that has moved me away from them completely. But what I try to do is I try to entice others to get involved into the gun community, into shooting, into carrying a firearm, as much as I can, because that way, as the numbers grow, then hopefully the political forces grow along with them. So I think that's absolutely a good suggestion for everybody to follow. And Pistol saying, once they get the bug, it's hard to stop. You're absolutely correct. It's kind of like tattoos or, cars or whatever it might be. So yes, I agree with that. Yes, I agree with that too. People have lost their moral compass. Let's see. They must be talking about Harry. Yes, guys, Harry makes holsters, and they're very good. Dennis is hopefully agreeing with me when he says they are in a no-show here, and he is absolutely correct. We do not hear a lot from any of these big gun organizations. Supposedly, none of them. They do little things. I mean, they're doing something in the city right now, but other than that, not much else is going on. And then Razor chimes in, is the GOA still around? I said a long time ago they were going to be the NRA 2.0, and he might be right on that. Hi, Dustin. It says, keep up the quality video streams. Much love from Nebraska. Why, hello there, Nebraska. I hope you are enjoying your evening. I hope you're happy being free, and I appreciate you stopping by, sir. And Dennis is saying we have zero help. And that is true. Aside from the grassroots kind of organizations like your local hunters and sportsman clubs, if I could speak, that'd be great. We don't really see a lot of big organizational anything, and it's sad because we don't really have much to back us up. Our numbers are getting smaller here because a lot of people are taking a lot of your advices and moving. And then they realize that the state they're moving to is turning just like New York. So we don't see a lot of that support, and that's the tough part, so we fight and we fight and we fight. And instead of gaining anything, we keep on losing stuff, so it's bad. Ty J saying for the most part, they are a no show in Illinois as well. And Big Johnson has done something to the CZ Shadow 2. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's pretty cool. Let's see. No problem, Dennis. Oh, Rhode Island, one of my favorite states. Beautiful there. I love it. Don't like their politics, but I love the state. Let's see. Oh, geez. GOA doesn't compromise like the NRA does, though. Well, I don't know. I can't say. Yeah, but I mean, is emailing enough? That's the bigger question, I guess. Armsman, hello, sir. How are you? Might have to watch this one afterward. No problem. I appreciate you stopping by. It's not going to go anywhere unless it gets banned, which I hope it doesn't. Might be wrong, but I believe the gun owners in free states are not joining the orgs that actually do the work. Again, I don't know. I don't know what the story is with that. I think a lot of times when you're in your own local area, you kind of get that tunnel vision of what happens here. But I can tell you that there's a lot of guys fighting here every day. All right, guys. So at this point, it is 9 o'clock. We have been on for 59 minutes and 38 seconds. So I will sign out here in a few seconds. We did have a nice turnout actually, which I'm surprised and very thankful for. I didn't think many people would show up because it is Sunday. But like I said, I'm going to try to do these every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to just kind of talk to you all and kind of give you some insights as to the New York life, which nobody really cares about. But I think it's cool to talk about it and see what you guys are dealing with. And then we go from there. And not to mention, it's a good way to start off the work week. And I hope you guys, again, I hope you guys have a great work week. I hope you're working hard and you're earning what you need to earn for your families. Again, just really quickly, I appreciate everybody who subscribes. I'll just throw out Subscribe Star again. You can take a look if you want. That's your call. And hopefully we'll have some things. Also go over to Instagram and start hitting up Darkstorm Industries, telling them to send me a rifle or a lower so I can start my build, I should say. Let's get some pressure on some of these guys. And other than that, guys, man, I appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hello and hanging out. So as always, I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and freedom is never free.